Hey guys, RD Klein here, Average Picker. So I thought we would do another look at another type of pin that you can often find in challenge locks. And I know these as wedding cake pins. These were introduced to me by Lock Lover. And this is not the best example of one, but it should get the point across. And maybe they have a different name. Maybe you know them as something else. If you do, drop it in the comments and let me know. But this is basically a reduced diameter kind of step down pin where the diameter goes down and it offers multiple steps to it. This one I kind of miscut. This last bit's a little too long. I would have liked to have gotten a few more in there, but you've got kind of a slight step down from the normal diameter of the pin to here, and then from here to this last one. And these are pretty easy actually to make as well. Let me see if I can grab a standard pin here. All you need to do is take your standard pin, put it in your chuck, and while it's spinning, do the first reduction, and then kind of move over a little bit and get your second reduction going. And if you get in there really good with the file, you can maybe even do more and more reductions. 2 is kind of the easiest to do though, because you only have to do a few scrapes, get that diameter down a little bit, then come in and reduce the tip of it a little bit more. Sometimes they can be tricky, I guess, when you're trying to do the filing, because you may slip in a little bit and hit the other one. If you're having trouble getting the second one started, just come in with the edge of the file. So just catch the edge, and what you'll do is you'll create a groove across the pin. I don't want it. This is actually from a lock. I don't want to actually groove it. But if you can get while it's spinning, if you can get just a slight groove going, that'll end up serving as kind of a guide, and it'll stop your file from jumping over. The other thing you can do too, you could do the same concept, but use like a triangular file, and just kind of get a little notch going, and then come in with the flat and get it filed down. If you really need to, you can probably do the same thing with like a razor blade or something as well. And picking these is kind of neat. It kind of depends on how much or how far in, of course you've got it set as a driver. And it's possible, depending on what it's paired up with, when you're picking it, that you actually don't really notice that first step down, but you typically will catch this last one. And these can kind of cause a surprise opening because of that. You'll get that step down, it'll drop into a bit of a false set. You'll get that little rotation, and you'll think, okay, I'm in a deep spool. And as you're nudging the key pin up, you eventually just kind of push that bit up past the shear line, and all of a sudden the lock turns over. But because it is a reduced diameter, there is an increased chance, I guess, that it may drop back into the key pin chamber. Though I've heard a few people say that reduced diameter pins have a better chance of sticking once they're set. I'm not quite sure how true that is. I don't really know. But I knew these will give you often a surprise kind of opening on them, just because you are sort of feeling like you're in the depths of in the middle of a spool. But then as it clears, all of a sudden you just get it turned over and you're like, oh, the lock's open now. Okay, cool. So yeah, that's just a little quick look at a wedding cake pin. They're really neat to play with. I've never tried to use one as a key pin. Oh, the cats are not getting along. I don't really know what purpose it would serve to use one as a key pin. Yeah, I'm not sure how well that would work. It might be, I don't know if it would limit the push up or not. Picking through them too, you have to really, again, depending on what it's paired up with, but you have to really test each chamber if you're just on the last little bit of one of these and that final tier is really, really tiny, because you're looking for just a little tiny bit of feedback, and if it's small enough you don't even get it. You're just kind of testing the pins, and all of a sudden click, the lock's open. So yeah, wedding cake pins, just another little quick look at something you might find or build for a challenge lock. So there you go, guys.